from monkeys because why are monkeys in the zoo right now? Like, why haven't they evolved?
They did evolve.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, but I know that
No,
you
they
don't
haven't
know
though.
what you're talking about.
No, but like, why haven't they become humans? Like, why aren't they humans like us? Why
Yeah, so
why aren't we like
what
them?
you think evolution teaches is that a long time ago all of the life we see today existed and then some of those life forms turned into us, which is not evolution. The way evolution actually works is a really long time ago, none of the species that are alive today existed. They all evolved differently. So the monkeys evolved into what they are, and we evolved into what we are. So don't ever ask that
So what
question
were we
again
at the
because it
start?
has not because it's a complete misunderstanding of how evolution works.
So what were we at the start? What does science tell us that we were at the start?
What is
So there
we?
has to be a start where we were all one thing, and then we evolved into. So what were we at the start?
Some sort of unicellular organism.
No, no. Now you're just making words up. You can't say that. You have to. There's got to be a evolution thing about it. So what were we at the start?
I answered the question. If you don't like the answer, then that's I can't
No,
really
no.
help you.
I like your answer, but like,
No, you don't.
yeah.
You
So
didn't
like,
accept the answer.
I did. Like,
Why are you
No,
still
you
asking
like
didn't.
you can't. Yeah, but
Okay.
wait. So answer me. Like, what did we all start from?
it?
A unicellular organism probably would have resembled an archaea.
So we were just floating in nothing, and then we all decided to come together and then evolve into whatever species we are now.
Yeah, there
Look,
was.
buddy, here's the really sad thing. You what you're doing would be straw manning, but straw manning is a tactic that people take. They deliberately construct a bad narrative around meant to sort of satirize or mock somebody else's position. But what you're doing is you're using
No, I'm trying to see it
100% of
from your
your
point of view. That's what
what
I'm
you're
trying to do.
doing is using 100% of your mental faculties to try to explain what science says, but you understand it so little that what comes out is all of this mixed with topped with a dollop of, and that is the best you can possibly do at trying to understand the other position is to give arguments that would be straw man's, but you are unironically making these arguments. It's just so completely sad. And I don't think we can actually continue to have a conversation because you don't understand anything that I could possibly tell you.
But I do. What haven't I understood yet? I'm
Anything.
just trying to see it from your point of view.
Your lack of ability to explain how it works in any kind of fair terms demonstrates that you don't
But you
understand
haven't
it.
explained it, and I've asked. You haven't really explained. All you said was like, "Yeah, we
I
came from
gave
blah
you
blah
proof
blah,"
positive that
or all of the
evolution
blah
is
blah.
true. I gave you proof positive that evolution is true, and then it
Oh,
eventually devolved to this point where you said, so there were just things floating in nothing, and then they decided to become humans. That is such a
that's why I
ridiculously
asked you. That's
stupid way of framing the counter argument that we can't actually have a discussion on this because you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't know what I'm talking about is actually kind of the main problem.
wait. So can you
If you can
tell
ask a
me what
question,
happened
then
to?
I'll try to give you an answer.
Okay, what happened before evolution?
Like on planet Earth or what?
Yeah, what happened to life before then?
Do you know what
Why
makes
wasn't there
life
life before
possible?
evolution?
Do you know what life is? What
Yeah,
makes life possible? Okay, go ahead and
yeah,
tell me.
yeah, yeah. So it's being able to breathe, being able to live.
Yeah, so, jeez. Can you tell me what makes life possible? The ability to live.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, that is true.
It's true, but like I don't know how to go scientifically into it.
Right, so the fundamental unit of life is the cell, and what makes cells alive is what powers the life of cells. Well, it's a bunch of chemical systems within this. Well, the cell is a chemical system. So, literally, chemistry powers life. So, what produced the first life forms? The same types of chemistry that make life exist today. It's just that before we had replicating cells, those chemical systems were sort of disconnected, but eventually they got to the point where they sort of exist in this system that I guess we could call a cell, and then those cells they replicate themselves, although replication would have been an aspect that predates the biological cell. And eventually those things started to work together, and then we have the first cells.
Mm. But where were these cells? Like, oh, God, like it's just I don't know. Like, where were these cells before? Like, why couldn't they happen before they happened? Why couldn't they happen after? Did
What
it
would
just
that
choose
what would
to?
that what would that prove?
It
What would
just
the
it just
timing of the first cells coming into existence prove?
it proves nothing, but it's just
Well, then it was a bad question to ask. Do you believe your God created the universe?
I do.
When do you think that happened?
About mm, ages ago, 4 billion years ago, million.
Why didn't it happen 5 billion years ago? If your God is who it claims to be, it could have done it 5 billion years ago.
That's a good way to put it.